Good afternoon and welcome to Rubbin Minds. My name is Isabella Adediji. Social media has grown in leaps and bounds, and today on Rubbin Minds we're looking at social media as a tool for information, but has it gone beyond just providing people with news to actually serving as a form of accountability or a digital courtroom where people are pronounced guilty without having their fair day in the court because of the people on social media? Now, to discuss how people consume the news, whether it's through television, like Channels Television, social media, the newspapers, radio, we'll have someone very special with us in the studio, an OAP content creator, Dolapo Oladipupo. Welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thank you for honoring our invitation. Now, when you hear social media, what comes into mind when it comes to news? Do you consume news from social media, or do you still go down the route of television, radio, newspapers, magazines?
I mean, we all know, if you want to listen to news or get any information these days, social media is that one place you get all sort of information, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a funny, like channels. I'm sure you guys have social media, and it doesn't have to be like once you get on Twitter, you can easily see someone random post news or about anything, and there's usually a discussion that goes around the hashtag, the trending news. So, I mean, social media these days is like I always tell people, it has its goods and bad, but it feels like a lot of people, a lot of us are gaining from social media, and I feel like I wouldn't take it away. As much as I have some reservations about it, I wouldn't take it away, and yeah, that's what I feel about social media.
Interesting. You mentioned X and someone just reporting an issue and then so much conversation around it. So don't you ever question the credibility and the capacity of this individual to report the news? Do you feel that anyone can break news, anyone can run a story, or should those things still be led to media houses?
Like I said earlier, social media is not regulated as at now, right? So everybody just picks up their phone and, post anything. So a couple of weeks ago, I saw on Facebook, someone posted that, I think, is it Adekunle Gold or someone, or Jide Kosoko is dead. And I mean, I see stuffs like that, and I'm like, what's happening? Why are you posting something that is not true? And why is it so? And that's because we know there's no punishment for, you posting randomly, especially if it's a faceless account, right? I studied mass communication, and it angers me most times when I see unprofessionalism from individuals, right? And I feel like the journalism is being watered down by certain people. I mean, it should be done in a right way, because I didn't spend 4 years in school for one person to just sit at the comfort of his house to start, dishing out information. Yeah, and there are certain people who take it seriously, even though it's on social media. And I feel like we need to sieve out those that are putting a lot of work, putting a lot of energy into, giving out disseminating information and news. But it's crazy because the whole social media world is crazy, because I can just sit down now and just say, oh, she's pregnant. Like, I just tweet something random and it's not true. So until we start punishing people for probably defamation of character or all sorts, we'll still be here. We'll still have people, trying to make arrest, and everybody will start shouting, oh, you are bullying them because you are rich and all those things. So
I mean, that has happened. You've seen people in power go after people who have made such claims online, and sometimes ending up in prison. Do you think that they were in their right to go after them?
Obviously, if you defame me, I have every right within the law to, not arrest, but sue you. So I feel like that's the difference. That's what people do not. A lot of these rich folks arrest, which ideally you shouldn't arrest. You should sue. The police invite you in I think about 24, 48, 72 hours. If you do not come, then they come arrest you. So once you get to court, you either pay damages or fines or whatever, but the court has to, preside over the whole ruling. So I think till we start getting sued, you pay for damages or you do jail time, we wouldn't take it seriously.
Interesting that as someone who is in the field, studied mass communication, my first question to you was where you consume news, and you said social media. So
these days, because the funny thing is, I can't remember the last time. I mean, I'm sorry, but I can't remember the last time I watched TV because I can't even sit down and the TV is on and I'm pressing my phone. And in course of pressing the phone, I could see a retweet from. It could be a
so
news
is it a
platform.
thing of accessibility? Why do you think more people like you, who should be watching TV, listening to radio, picking up a newspaper because that's your background, you're turning to social media?
I mean, we all know our phone is very easy to manipulate and carry around. If I'm going out, I wouldn't go with a TV. I'm going with my phone, right? So, and the apps I have on my phone probably have news outlets, and at the end of the day, right, if a news outlet breaks the news, it becomes a conversation online. And a lot of time, you don't get to follow the conversation on the news outlet's page. You follow the conversation from people talking about it.
So blogs, influencers?
Not necessarily blogs. I mean, I could see a news right now, and I share my 2 cents on it. And my followers I probably am summarizing it in a better way to my followers than, ideally TV stations, news outlets will break it the way they should, like professionally. But not everybody understands ambiguous English and all. So I might just come in.
So you're basically shooting shots at us.
No, I'm not shooting shots. I mean,
it's not being broken down in a way that people can consume.
So I can tweet in pidgin. Do you understand? And I can add a little bit of Yoruba. Someone in my age bracket or someone who is not that learned would relate. Compared to once a news outlet breaks, like you are using the proper English, you are using proper punctuations and everything. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying like, I mean, for me, I could read, right?
Yeah, right. And also the fact that sometimes it's presented in a way that
like
people
simple.
Want.
So it just depends on what goes for you, right? Yeah.
And now let's look at the courtroom, the digital courtroom, because a lot of times before a news has fully broken and investigations are done and people have their fair day in court, cancel culture becomes real. People just cancel people based on, like what you said, someone can just go online and say, I'm pregnant, I'm married, and then, all of a sudden, everyone runs with that. So surely this digital courtroom is doing more harm than good. What do you make of it?
Okay, so let me start from the cancel culture, right? So I've never been a fan of cancel culture because I feel like everybody springs the narrative that suits them. So if I'm saying I want to cancel a particular artist, that's because the artist's opinion doesn't align with mine, most likely. Not because the person has done anything wrong. Okay, so for example, when the last election, when Tonya Imaku, made a tweet and, everybody tried to cancel her. I might not agree with our stance on that particular candidate, but I know it's our opinion. She has the right to vote for whoever she wants to. Do I like it? No. But it's her right. So I can't force my opinion or what I want on someone because I feel like they are a celebrity or they are how they are rich or whatever. No, they have their opinion. I have mine. So that's why I feel like cancel culture is bleh to me, right? So and sorry, the other question.
When people are having like somebody is accused of doing something, before they even have a chance to defend themselves, they've already come for them, and we're not even allowing the real courts to have
so
say.
For me, before I jump on a conversation online, I barely even engage a lot of posts. I always wait because obviously if I have an issue with someone, if I share my side of the story and the other person is quiet, I'm probably going to have an edge over the person. So a lot of the time, what we see online doesn't seem complete or true, right? So till I'm sure you've seen the scenario where there's a conversation, two people had a fallout, and one person was outspoken. The next person, this other person didn't talk. Till maybe months later, the person decided to share his or her side of the story, and everybody are like, oh, wow, blah, blah, blah. But it wouldn't still take away whatever it is you've said about this person. Because like they say, social media never forgets. Even if you delete your tweets, there are people who already saved the tweet, who already had a screenshot about, whatever it is you've said. And it does more damage to the person's reputation, because no matter what you say, people say, okay, something happened recently, and I don't want to mention his name because I don't want to be in trouble. So someone said a lot of disgusting thing about someone, and a few days later, it happened this week, and he's like, I'm sorry, all those things I said wasn't true. But you already said it. There are a lot of, even if you deleted it, the guy deleted it, but I can still go online and still find those tweets. So it does, if there is no penalty for this thing, and me personally, I feel like jail time and maybe one exorbitant amount of money should be paid if you've said something that is not true about someone, and if you've not if you insult someone online, you can also insult yourself. You can also insult the person back. But if you are spitting out things that are not true
Falsehood.
about, I feel like that should carry until, like I said, and I'll keep saying it, till we start to dish out penalties for, lies online, defamatory character and everything. We will still be here. We will still have people tweeting and posting all sorts of things. So, yeah.
And my final question, maybe in 30 seconds, is how the online space actually help to keep things in the news. So when you look at maybe kidnappings happening, investigations, how can we work with the online space to ensure that things don't just disappear from the mainstream?
Like I said, social media, do not forget, because unlike, I don't know why, it feels like I keep shooting myself in the foot when I'm trying to talk about, because in TV, right, once you break a news, it feels like you don't see, because it's instant, almost instant, right? But on social media, you can still always go back to, revisit, check and all. And that's why, for example, the kidnap case, I feel like social media did more to, instigate the government to do whatever it is they did to bring back the kids. So, the outrages online, it feels like it is helping more. And it's crazy that online outrage is
Thank you
doing
so
more.
much. I have to agree with you that social media does really help to keep traditional media on their toes, to ensure that certain stories don't just die down. Thank you, Dolapo, Oladipupo, for your contributions on Rubbin Minds.
Thank you.